Hello, welcome back to my channel. In this episode I'll be discussing The Big Lebowski, a 1998 crime comedy film written, produced and directed by Joel and Ethan Coen, starring Jeff Bridges, John Goodman, Julianne Moore, Steve Buscemi, Sam Elliott and Philip Seymour Hoffman. I absolutely loved this film when it first came out, during the peak of my hippie phase in my mid-20s. I was a huge fan of all the Coen brothers movies, particularly The Hudsucker Proxy and Fargo, and Oh Brother Where Art Thou, which came out a couple of years later. All of these movies scored an instant 10 out of 10 from me, and have remained on my favourite films list ever since, despite not having watched many of them for several years. So when I received a film review request, well, more of a suggestion, or both actually, a requestion from a fellow booktuber, I immediately rewatched Lebowski with the intention of offering up a perfect score review. But apparently I'm no longer the same person that I was in my mid-20s. Back then I was fit and energetic with a 30-inch waist and a full head of hair, and a large group of musician friends with whom I would smoke weed, eat shrooms and watch movies, as well as playing guitars on the beach and sleeping on each other's couches. Fun times. But I've not lived that life for a very long time now, and to my surprise I don't seem to like the same movies either. To be honest, last night I found Lebowski a bit of a chore. Now, I must quickly point out that I'm a mood reader and a mood film watcher, and I rarely enjoy a film if I'm not in the right mood, even if it's a film that I love, so it's very likely that last night I just wasn't in the Lebowski zone when I pressed play. The film I watched last night was a weird and bleak affair, with a hopelessly complex plot that's ultimately unimportant. That's director Joel Coen's words, not mine. It was sporadically funny throughout, and there were a couple of genuine belly laughs, but it was nothing like the hilarious romp that I'd been remembering, although I was probably high as a kite when I watched it back then. I'm a reformed character now, and apparently that means that I no longer find stoned people funny. The script is deliberately convoluted and ponderously staggers from scene to scene, with occasional moments of brilliance interspersed with ugliness and squalor, to ultimately arrive at a conclusion which concludes absolutely nothing at all, except that 2 hours have passed and that Sam Elliott really does have the best moustache in the business. One aspect of the movie that has not diminished over time is the excellent all-round filmmaking. This is a really well put together movie. The cinematography by Roger Deakins is simply stunning, with multiple scenes throughout the movie making my eyeballs scream wow. Also, the art direction and set design is superb. The standout aspect of this movie is its dream sequences, and I'm surprised to say that they were my favourite aspect of the film as I watched it last night. Generally, as a rule, I despise dream sequences. I consider them to be a lazy storytelling device, an excuse for artistic masturbation by the filmmakers, and an unwanted distraction from the story. But in the case of Lebowski, they turned out to be a much-needed respite from the ugliness of the characters' lives and the heavy-handedness of the overburdened narrative. They were masterfully done and provided a welcome escape. Overall, I can't say that I particularly enjoyed the film very much this time round, although I am very well aware that it's exactly the same film that I used to love. The film hasn't changed. I have, and for that reason I'm still going to award a full 10 stars to Lebowski, presented by my younger self, because it's he for whom the film was made, not me. And on that poetic note, I think I'll call it a day. Thank you very, very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you know what to do. Please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and I will see you next time. See you later.